that I'd get used to the shaking. I wake up in the dark, imagining everything I am breaking as I lose my grip. I've been dreaming in color. I wake up wishing harder for you. Full lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually. Don't hold your breath for me. Full lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually. Someday you'll see. Full lines, 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 breaking under my feet. Oh, it gets quiet in the dark. I get closer to an answer, then everything blurs over, and I forget again. I want to land on solid ground, feel the earth underneath me. I fell for your harder. You will always remember, won't you? You made these fault lines break under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually. Don't hold your breath for me. Fault lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually. Someday you'll see. Fault lines, 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 breaking under my feet. Oh, it takes everything I've got to bend with the waves as they crash in. The wind is howling and the earth splits open again. Ooh, fault lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually, but don't wait for me. Fault lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this. I'll get used to this eventually. Fault lines, 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 breaking under me. Oh, oh, fault lines, fault lines, breaking under my feet. Oh.
If you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, yeah. If you wanna save me, yeah. If you wanna save me, I think I should better run, because that's the end before it began. If you wanna save me, that's better. you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, yeah, if you wanna save me, yeah, if you wanna save me, I think I should better run, because that's the end before it began. If you wanna, if you wanna, if you wanna save me, I should better
All right. Hello, friendos. I'm assuming you're trying to make
Hello.
your cats.
What?
Are you trying to make your cats?
Yeah, I got Susu and Cyberpunk. Now I got Chibi and Vermeer. and then Oi, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Boy,
it's clear.
fop you.
They have not filtered out meme templates from their training data set.
So which model is this? Where'd you find it?
This is a new one. There's a bunch they're remaking. This is one that was a collab with Google and Dream Studios. I found it actually through a YouTube video, which was there was a. It's I think I don't know if you've heard of like 2-minute papers. This is like paper reviews done. Yeah. So it was a paper review on actually a few paper reviews related to AI generated in this stable diffusion style of AI generation. So there's this free one. They're going to come out with an actual like enterprise version, but for now there's a free beta just playing around with.
Thank you, Destroy. Oh. Almost there.
Close. Soon. TM.
All right. We are waiting on Derpy to arrive in, but we're bad boy started.
I just assume she's doing wheelies outside right now, or not wheelies, donuts.
Oh no.
Wheelies. Yeah,
We're like, it's like today is one of those things where like, I don't want to say, it's not that like, I think it's setting in where like she went to like one of the, she's still trying to find wheel locks, so which is, I don't know if you know what that is, but they're basically replace one of the lug nuts on your wheels with a specific one that can't be just taken off with like an impact wrench. Like you need a specific like a key almost to take it off.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mainly because the rims are these wheels, rims on the wheels, whatever you want to call it, the wheels themselves are extreme. People would want them. They're like custom alloy aluminum.
Aluminium. Not
So,
carbon fiber.
not carbon fiber. But like she went to one of the Subaru dealerships nearby to see if they had like the part in stock. She luckily found out somebody there knew that the lug nuts are a different diameter, are smaller, so you can't put on the basic one. Otherwise, it'll actually like scratch up the. So that's not gonna happen. But somebody there two people there offered to buy the car. I don't know if it was like legit or joking. But funny that. He said this morning on the way to work, 2 cars like did the whole like rum, rum next to her and like tried to like goad her
into it. Yeah.
Like a BMW and like an Alfa Romeo, and Yeah, but I think I would say like the thing that's setting in is just the kind of things of being like, yeah. So like trying to, oh yeah, there's like some other like a BOZ and some other Rexes were like having. Erica just said that they were like breaking their neck looking at her looking at the car on the way home. But what I was saying is like the thing that's kind of setting in is like we're just like she's like, oh man, like I'm realizing if I go like today she went to the office part of her school, which is a separate location, parking lot type of thing. And then she's just thinking, she's like, oh, when I go to the actual school campus, she has to park like in a gravel lot, like under some like drop shit cars. And we're both, and we're both like, and we're both just kind of like, ooh, but like that's what you mean. That's what I mean. Like, is the thing like you're just kind of like thinking of small things and just like But yeah. All right. Quick summary of what we had last time. In episode 3 of our lovely campaign here, you started off by meeting Mr. Witch and Mr. Light in their cabin and talking to them a little bit. They were pretty cagey, and I think something that was fairly interesting is that you kept asking them about some of the stuff that you had Kettle Steam had overheard, or other questions, and not once did they actually like. They just said that they had made a deal for this carnival, and you find out, you learn that they're Shader Kai. They had a different carnival to begin with, and they made a deal. But something that you notice is that they never once mentioned the Witchlight or the Hourglass Coven.
Mm-hmm.
That never left their mouths once.
And then we also mentioned it to them.
Yeah, you said it spoke to them multiple times, asked them directly about it, but their responses were always just kind of talking around it, which is something that you kind of have now found about multiple people around here trying to talk about these things. It reminds you of the Miss Cloppington, who
that's right,
who ended up having to have the horses tell you about that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff going on that is behind the scenes. But as you left the encounter with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, the getting some balloon animals from Thacko the Grumpy Clown, you were told by Burley, the hired the muscle and strong man of the carnival, that he is worried that there's more, that the two, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, mean well. However, they definitely are leaving more. They have more to tell that they just can't seem to talk about. He wants y'all to hatch a scheme to get them to talk, which would be to steal the watch that Mr. Witch keeps on him that seems to kind of run everything around the carnival. Actually, as we're now on that homepage, if you take a look, you can see exactly what Zug saw when it was described. So you can see there is a little 3D rendering of a carnival there with a little hedgerow maze around it and this little luminescent light that kind of creates shadows along it. Burley mentions that his brother, Hurley, had been kidnapped or is, gone. He thinks either kidnapped, taken, stolen, lost. And once again, even when he asked Mr. Witch and Mr. Light about it, they had no real responses. So he asked you to take the watch, figure out a way to take the watch, probably at the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch, which happens at the end of the night. Somebody can steal it, use it as leverage, get them to talk. He tells you to go and visit some of the others in the carnival who will probably help you out, including Candlefoot the Mime, who you helped marry or propose properly to Palasha. Palasha could probably help out, as well as Durla, the Displacer Beast who works at the Lost and Found. So, leaving him there, you decided to head over to the Hall of Mirrors to check it out. You're seeing a halfling proposing to another halfling for the Hall of Mirrors. Laughing fit ensuing, halfling runs inside. Pursuing the halfling inside the Hall of Mirrors, you were able to save him from being what looked to be walking towards the girl with the pig mask that was in one of the mirrors and disappeared afterwards when Doug lassoed this halfling with his thorn. You then reunite them, save the day there, and give a quick chat with Candlefoot about what you guys were planning on doing. And he said he was going to do a Mime Tornado to try to distract Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, help you out. I don't know what that was. Phone being thrown around. Okay, cool. Then you ended up going to the Pixie Carnival, the Pixie Kingdom, where you played hide and seek with the pixies and enjoyed a jolly old time where only some of you were found. And that's where we pick back up. The hours move on. It is now the 6th hour, 7th hour actually, and at the top of the 7th hour. And when the 8th hour arrives, the crowning of the Witchlight Monarch will occur. So you have a little bit more time to plan, visit some other stuff. So yeah, we start once again with the carnival in full swing. Everybody in a heightened mood of excitement and reverie as the mood is still quite elevated. Nothing has happened to deter the mood of the place. You guys are all having a blast. All the carnival goers are having a blast. Sights and smells fill the air. The smell of baked brownies off of rosin is even stronger now, amplified by the carnival. You just can hear kids laughing, like running around through the crowd. Everybody, the night is currently abuzz with energy. You stand outside the Pixie Kingdom gates, looking back inside now that your enlargement stuff has you have enlarged back to your normal sizes, and look around. You see a couple more attractions around you. You're now kind of at the southwestern edge of this kind of circular area down here at the base of the carnival, and you can see a couple other things. Those who are, or those who want to, where would be another place that you'd like to go? Where would you guys like to? What would you like to do in this next hour of time before the big event of the night?
Snail Race. We all want to do a snail race.
Oh, we saw the snails when we walked past, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've seen them.
So you did. You remember seeing the snails as you walked past and seeing them hauling ass, like going fucking full speed around this track. Right now they do, and right now is a time where you can see that there are people starting to file in there. The next race is going to start fairly soon.
Snail race! Snail race! They go fast!
Snail race.
I'll start running over to snail race.
To have a snail race. That sounds agreeable to me.
All right.
I'm already jumping up and down in line.
God, it's the Billy and Mindy with the Grim Reaper show. I don't remember what that was called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're just like the little Billy kid.
Oh, he is. Oh man, it was Billy and Mandy, right?
Billy and Mandy, that was
the
it. Yeah.
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, yeah.
Wait, I'm not familiar with that. Let me see.
Cartoon Network show.
Ah,
Yeah, Grim was their friend. He kind of was like it was almost, I think he had kind of like a Wamsandi like kind of accent. Like he goes a little bit more like, he was the Grim Reaper, but he was like, oh man, that type of thing. The fucking wild show. That was
If I'm not mistaken, that's the voice actor when he tried out for the role. It was supposed to be a British accent, and he just couldn't nail it. But they loved
really?
they loved the accent that he did come up with.
Interesting.
So they just went with it.
They just kept it. That's good. It was interesting. Like this was that was also the era of other kind of Cartoon Networks, such as Cow and Chicken was the other one that was there.
Yeah.
Another kind of was like it was like they had seen Ren and Stimpy and they wanted to make something that was kind of like that type of
the energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still not quite to that extent.
All right, so as you guys approach the main entrance and you kind of you're pushed inwards, kind of getting moved along with the crowd as the next race is going to be starting fairly soon. The grandstands next to this race course are filled with cheering fairgoers, ringing bells, swinging rattles in the air like the rattles, and waving flags in excitement. On the starting line right now, you can see 8 giant snails having their shells scrubbed and cleaned by groups of pixies. Above the circular course, you can see that there is a wooden gantry hanging from the branches of a central tree, where 2 goblins are sitting there with microphones in their hands, seem to be starting to officiate the proceedings. So,
I would approach the goblin. Like, excuse me, how does someone get to race a snail?
We have somebody here who wants to race a snail. Snail racing is the name of the game, and that's what we're doing here tonight.
Yeah.
Step on up, what's your name?
Kiwi with a K.
They got
All right, Kiwi with a K. The turtle wants to race. Any other contenders who want to race the snails tonight?
Ooh, I do.
Step on up. What's your name, small little lizard creature? Yeah, what's your name, son? What's your name?
Zog!
All right, we got Zog and we got Kiwi.
We need to have a little tortoise in the hair race. Come on.
Looking back over at the twins.
Yep.
yeah.
I will also participate.
The goblin looks over.
All right, and look who we have here. We have Velka from the Witchlight Carnival itself, ready to participate. Let's see if they can hold the name of the Witchlight Carnival to the T.
Yeah. Anybody else?
How many snails are there? You said there are 8?
Yeah, 8 snails, and it will cost a ticket to enter. Ticket punch.
Assumed as much. I think I'll watch this one. I'd like to be a spectator.
You should gamble on it. Gambling is fun and good for you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a betting booth?
All right. Well, also, Mr. Velka, are you in Roll 20?
I am, yeah.
Wait. Are you in? I don't see your.
You
Oh no,
don't?
you are. Oh, Neon's not. Never mind.
For shame.
I'm in the wrong game. I can't read, and I was like, it says chromatic, and then I realized I just completely misread the entire middle of the word. I was like, oh, chronomatic.
Yeah, that was
Romantic, even.
uncoordinated. That was uncoordinated, by the way. Well, I guess I don't know
Who did
if
first?
it was. Yeah, I did it. I don't know if Neon then did it after
Okay.
me, or if we just happened to.
So for the snail racers, we have entering right now. We got Zug, we got Kiwi, we got Velka. Voda, would you want to enter? Or would you be sitting on the side with Rosin? Watch. Okay, Voda's sitting it out. That is fine. You also know, Velka and Voda, you also know that cheating is strictly frowned upon here. Anybody who cheats or tries to alter the race in any way, it is definitely a big bummer on the carnival. However, those who do participate, it's always a good time to see people participating and participating and joining in. So, all right, it's looking good. Those who are racing, the 3 of you walk to the starting line and see the 8 snails here, and you now notice that they all have name tags around their, little like name tags around their necks. You see that there's the pink snail, a blue snail, a purple snail, a green snail, yellow snail, orange snail, red snail, and the black snail. Anybody have any color preferences that you would gravitate to?
Green
Purple.
snail.
Okay, so you move over to the green snail, Zug, and you see that the name is Quickleaf. Quickleaf the snail. The pixies look you up and down. They're like, ooh, all right. You're gonna be riding? Well, let us adjust the seat a little bit. We gotta make some room for your shell. And they, adjust the saddle that's on the back of the snail to allow for your shell to kind of fit there. All right, Velka, you walk up to the purple one. You see that the name on this one, and you know this. You've seen these before. You walk up and you walk up and you see that its name is High Road. The Velka, you see the High Road is your one, the purple.
And this isn't like the Swans, or is it like the Swans?
No, it is not like the Swans.
Okay. Then, yep, just hopping up on the saddle.
Good.
I would go to the red one.
Go to the red one. You approach
Yeah,
the red
red's
one, and you
fast.
see this one's name is Breakneck.
Breakneck. Nice.
All right,
I
so
just-
yours
I'm
is
just
number
staring at this
number
now.
7,
Yep.
red number
Okay.
7, Breakneck.
Red 7, standing by.
All right. For the purple, it's number 3. Perp 3. That one is High Road. And as you look around, the other ones, pink is named Shelly Moo. You got blue named Nimblefoot. Number 2, Nimblefoot. You have the green one. We already said that one. Number 5 in the yellow snail, Flower Flash. Number 6, the orange snail is Wizzy. And number 8, the black snail is Queen's Majesty.
I love it.
There's a Queen's Majesty.
Yep.
We're getting some real. Oh, I'm blanking on the horse race now. Shit. The big one.
Oh, yeah.
Kentucky
The Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
All right.
Derby name energy.
Kentucky Derby meets Grand Prix.
The announcers, the 2 goblins pick up the mic. You hear like the little screeching, like,
If there's any final entries that want to participate in this snail race, please approach the snails and punch your tickets. Otherwise, we'll be starting quite soon. Quite soon. Everybody, please to the starting lines.
I would like to. Could I write number 8?
We have a late entry. What is your name, young fairy?
Rosin.
Rosin, welcome to the race. You will be on number 8, Queen's Majesty. Would all of the fairgoers please make yourselves take a seat in the stands? The race will be starting shortly.
he watches all the spectators find their seats in the stands. Once again, are kind of like cheering. You see some people placing, light bets on the side of kind of things of like, very like simple bets of like betting like candy or popcorn or, little things like that.
Potato.
It's 8 O's. Yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
remember this
What
one.
the fuck? That's so funny.
Yeah, this is a classic.
Yep.
Right.
Legitimately, it was the a failed attempt at spelling, bruh.
Ironic.
The stable boy misheard and thought that he was being asked. It was going to be named Potato, and he thought that he was being asked to put Pote and then 8 O's. And so that's what he did.
All those extra O's make him go extra fast.
All right, so I'm actually I gotta do a quick little jot down here. So we have number 1 is being ridden by. You actually now see that a couple more fairgoers come by and actually occupy the other snails. Like all the snail races are always done by attendees. So you see some other folks like punch their cards, get on the snails. So you have 4 of you. 4 of you is from the party, and the other 4 are all commoners or other fairgoers. So we see pink is a commoner. Number 2 is a commoner as well.
Question: would I know if this is full contact snail racing?
It is not.
Okay.
So we're not Mad Maxing this on snails.
It's a non-checking snail race.
Yeah. So I have to, if I'm going to shoulder check people, do it when I can't be seen by the referee. Got it.
Yeah, just cheated a game run by Faye. It's fine.
It's not cheating if I don't get caught.
That is actually true. All right, but it does. It does. You already do know that, and the last time people have cheated or had an unfair race, it did kind of dampen the mood of the carnival quite a bit.
Especially when they were flayed in the main
Yes,
court.
exactly. Flower Flash is a commoner. Wizzy's a commoner.
Yeah. Wizzy. Is that the yellow one?
Yeah.
Does it have real hair? Or is it a wig? It would be a Wizzy wig.
Not Wizzy wig.
Mm.
All right, so everybody gets to the starting line, and yes, it is time to fucking snail race. As you all kind of get lined up there, I'm going to tell you the rules of snail race.
All right.
Take you over to the snail
Go
racing
fast,
area.
eat ass.
Yeah, it is basically. You can go fast, eat ass. You can't see. My God, this stick.
Yes, Derpy. Everyone does get caught because it's Fae.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't worry, I wouldn't cheat. I
It's
know
not
how
about
the fair
cheating.
works.
It's about pushing the limits until you're no longer.
Right.
You're plausible deniability.
I'm just putting you all on here so you can kind of see what this place looks like.
Creative application of the rules.
All right. So the party is ready to go. We have Voda in the stands. Everybody else is up on the top. The way this works, it's gonna be just some rollies, some simple rollies, and yeah, we need some more fun music. Of course,
Nice.
we gotta do it. All right, cool. So all 8 of the snails are on the starting line, ready to fucking go. And this works in rounds. So with a sound of the gun, the race begins and the snails are off. This is what y'all fucking start to look like.
They got blinders on the snails.
Oh yeah, look at the colors. Yeah, the banners.
I feel like they're helmets, considering that snails' eyes are on the top of their stalks in the front. So
Well, they're kind of terrible helmets then.
yeah.
Also, they're like they're points of contact for the reins.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Oh god,
forgot
they're
that
steered by their eye stalks.
we
That
all have the
sounds
fairy
terrible.
the fairy wings on still.
But the thing that I love the most is that these things are hauling ass. Because look at the fucking like
Flying up.
Tokyo
Yeah.
Drift stuff going off on the side. All right, so they're all named with Roman numerals. All right, I am going to need all of you to roll me animal handling checks, please.
Oh, baby.
No.
As you fucking hit the races. So how this works is every round that we're gonna do, you roll an animal handling check, and I will see how well you do.
My character sheet is having a conniption.
Having a conniption fit?
Oh,
I'll try one more time.
If he didn't die right. Gives me conniptions.
Oy. And I need to reload. If you want to roll that one for
Yeah,
me,
I'm gonna roll the other. I'll roll the other 4 commoners that are writing the other ones. All right.
nice.
4d20.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's hilarious. These things move 80 feet. Can move 80 feet around. These things haul.
Yeah, they do.
All right. So
Oh wait, here we go.
got it. Alrighty. Oh my
After them,
goodness.
the
All right, so
ground
the
speed,
first
like,
ones,
tiny.
which is it's just hilarious. The first two start to get off the starting line, but you can see the two commoners, the 2 fairgoers on the back of them are just like trying to trying to treat them like horses. They're like, yeah, go, yeah, and they kind of like make a weird like squishing noise, fart a little bit, and they go a little bit slower. So those only go. The 2 of them actually go a little 10 feet slower than they would. So 70 on the first round. Oh my god, why am I gonna have to do fucking math? I hate this. All right. The one that succeeded. Let's see. Actually ends up that they figured it out. So the 16 on one of the commoners succeeds. Figured out what to do. That snail goes an extra 10 feet. That one's sitting on 90. Alrighty. Mr. Velka, you've ridden these things so much in the past that you just seem to know exactly what to do. What is your technique that you use? Because your snail just fucking takes off.
My technique is I picked the best snail.
Insider knowledge.
Inside, that's legitimately because I was a crit. That was not me. That was just the world decided this was the case.
All right, so that's the case. So your snail rockets forward as it moves an additional 20 feet this round. So you just Velka's out at 100 feet right now. Just Rosin, your snail farts a little bit kind of shakes, kind of stretches out like it's getting ready to run, and doesn't go as quick. Yours also goes, unfortunately, just 70 feet. Zug, you succeed. Yours goes 80.
Woo! Between the two groups.
Kiwi's goes 70. And then you watch as that last little, like, fairgoer, it's like a little kid who's just, like, sitting there openly crying as the snail just is, like, slowly crawling forward. That one only goes a sad 60 as it goes 20 slower than normal. All right, another round of rolls.
He can smell your fear.
You can smell your fear. All right, another roll. Another round of rolls. Animal handling checks from everybody, please.
Yay!
Or if you lose, don't cry. It'll kill the snail.
Yep, that's
That's too funny. Okay, so you all watch as in the front, Velka is just sailing forward, and then suddenly the snail is just like... and you hear the announcers,
Oh, it seems that Velka may have chose the fast snail, but snail can only go so fast for so long. It seems he needs to take a break.
snail just is
straight up
panting
just
there.
I missed the turn. That's
Yeah.
what happened.
Slow and steady.
All right, so Velka, yours goes an additional 60, putting you at 160 feet this turn. Let's see who is next. Zug, you succeed. Slow and steady, Zug.
Yeah.
You're currently now next to. You're pulling up next to Velka. Hi, Kiwi. Yours is still going slow and steady. You do another 70 feet on this one, putting you at 100 total. And Rosin in the same boat, another kind of slow and steady, another 70 at 140 feet. The 4 commoners, however, let's see if they can do any better. 15, 13, 18, and a 10. The first one, who didn't go so well in the first bit, they're going a little bit quicker now. They are currently at 160 as well. Pull up. They pull up next to Velka and Zug. The second one does another success. Now that one is a little bit behind Zug and the rest of the 4 runners at 150 feet. That last one, or the next one, who also hauled ass on the first one, zooms past Velka, Zug, and the other commoner, going an additional 90 feet this time, sitting at 180 currently. The last one, who kind of failed out, still didn't do as well this time. An additional 70 puts him at 130. All right. So current standings is commoner is the commoner on number 5. Flower Flash is kind of hauling ass, is 10 feet ahead of the other ones. It's a neck and neck race. You also have Zug, one of the Velka, and another one of the commoners, another one of the fairgrowers, neck and neck in second place. And pulling up the rear, we have Rosin and Kiwi. Yeah, and then one commoner is super lagging behind.
Would I know that using spells is against the rules?
Absolutely, it's cheating. Cheating is strictly forbidden.
I wouldn't.
Yep.
I would.
What if I use a spell that doesn't give me an inherent advantage?
Okay, I need, and actually need for this round, I need one of you, alright, right now, actually, let's do this. One of you roll a d8, please.
Any
First
of
one
us?
to do it. Okay, Kiwi rolled a d8.
Ah.
Kiwi got it. Alright, I need, Kiwi, I need you to roll another d8.
Oh god, why?
Oh! Is that good or bad?
It's either good or bad. It's not.
Alright, so unfortunately, Rosin, you hear your snail beneath you. And you watch as it gets a cramp.
Oh god, I thought you were dying.
So unfortunately, Rosin actually only went 100. That slowed them by 40 feet this round.
Oh!
Alright, Velka, since you almost got that second roll, I'll allow you to roll another d8 again as we enter the next round of rollies. Okay, same thing. Sounds good. Continuing on, everybody give me those Animal handling checks. There we go.
Slow and steady.
All right.
man.
So,
Woo, look at
no
these
surprise events happen this round. It's a clean round all around. So, starting with Velka. Velka, you continue onwards. You succeed. And your snail goes an additional, an additional 10 feet. So, you get an additional 70. That is 230. You're at 230, my dude.
Hell yeah.
All right, Zug, you succeed as well. So that's another thing. You're neck and neck with Velka. You're at 230 as well. Rosin, you now succeed. Sitting there in the back of the race. Your snail gets a second wind, looks up at you, gives you a nod, and hauls ass out of there.
I'm just giving it encouraging eyes. And
Encouraging.
And just
I love it.
like, you got this, you got this.
Oh, I'm doing math wrong, actually. Hold up. Yeah, it's actually
this-
both
this-
250. Would be.
This
because
is
160 plus, yeah, for Zug and Velka, it'd be 160 plus 90, 250.
this is Zug staring at Velka.
Yeah. I love it.
I thought it was the Luigi death stare, but yeah, that works.
It would be the Luigi death stare. That's
Yeah,
probably
that
what's
too.
about. Yeah. So Rosin, your snail goes an additional 10 feet of the 80, so you're at 190. Kiwi. Oh, your snail, hauling ass, travels 100 this turn. Additional 20 feet to its speed. Flying forward. Sitting at, you're like now right behind, 10 feet behind Velka and Zug. Meanwhile, the others, the guy who is doing decently, he fails, going a little bit slower, so they actually go 10 feet slower. That one would be 230. The next one, he succeeds by 5, and will be going an additional 20 feet. That 18 is great. So he goes 100. Neck and neck now with Velka and Zug.
Oh, we got a cluster.
Yeah. The other one succeeds as well. Goes 90. Uh-oh. That one's hauling ass. So you still have the other commoner is directly in front of you. Sitting there at 270. Math good and hard. And then the last commoner succeeds as well, sitting at 220. Okay. Let's say, Zug, give me a D8.
All right. Almost rolled a D89.
Reroll that.
Reroll that. Perfect symmetry.
Roll me another one.
2.
Oh boy.
I love that I have no idea what's happening.
Zug and Velka. At the start of this next round, you watch as the commoner next to you is like really into it, looking over at you two, and she's like, I gotta get my friend! I'm on it! And you watch as one of the straps of the saddle breaks loose and begins to fall off. He has to do a dexterity saving throw. You watch as he just goes,
no.
oh no! And he just falls off backwards. The snail continues onward.
Looking back, does it look like he's gonna get hurt, or is it just?
No, he just tumbles off and just rolls in a pile, like rolls in the dust, like oh. You're all wearing protective gear and stuff. You've been given like helmets and things like that. It's safe. All right, well, there you go. Everybody, give me the handling checks, as that one is now just going at normal speed. So he just goes 80. That's fun.
Oh, I gotta roll. Why is this?
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Zug, zoom in. Okay, the second one does not count because that one is he rolled a 6. He's on the ground. That makes sense. All right, Rosin, you succeed by you just succeed. So you just do another 90. You're now in the 200s. You're seeing your competitors around the bend as you're currently sitting at 280. Very nice. All right, Velka, you succeed as well. You get another 90 feet of movement, putting you at 340. Currently in the lead. Kiwi. Unfortunately, your snail rips a huge fart and slows by 20 on this round. Only sending you forward 60 feet. You are now just chilling at the 300 mark. Zug, your snail surges ahead. Zug zooms forward to 350 feet. Meanwhile, the other commoners, the first one, also succeeds readily. He's now at 330 feet, right behind Velka, and in line with the other riderless snail. The other commoner, who was riding really well, right there at the front. Once again, another issue with this snail. It needs to catch its breath. It's going slower. That one only rolls forward 60 on this round. Ooh, boy. That is 330. Velka's now in first place. Dun, 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 dun. The last guy, he succeeds very well. He's now at 320 feet. All right. Rosin, I need you to roll me a d8. Excellent. I need you to roll me another d8. Excellent. That's going to be fun. Alrighty. Cool. Everybody, roll me your animal handling checks. I think this is going to be close. We're getting there. Oh, boy. Velka. Fail, but not by much. So, you roll forward an additional 70. Velka, you are now at 410. Mr. Rosin, unfortunately, or Miss Rosin, unfortunately, your snail, you're just along for the ride, it seems. Your snail only rolls forward another 60 feet this round, putting you at, now breaking the 300 mark at 340. Kiwi, you succeed by 5, zooming forward another 100 feet. Kiwi is at 400, catching up. Look at that. And then Zug.
God, it is. Yep.
It's close. Voda is cheering. And the crowd cheers as well. That's because, and one of the snails is bolstered and surges forward. Snail number 1. Snail number 1 is bolstered by an additional 20 this round. And they succeed. They go 90, an additional 20. Yep. So that is, they're currently at 440. Holy crap. That's big.
To fucking commoners. Holy
yeah,
shit.
It's a fair goer. They're enjoying their time. The other snail just goes its full 80, sitting at another 410. That one's riderless. And Zug, did I get you yet? No, you failed.
No.
Not failed, but you failed by 5. No, not by 5. You failed, but not by the whole punch. So, that is 70 instead of 80. Putting you at a cool 400. Why am I fucking bad at math right now? 420. 420. Blaze it. Let's go. All right. The other thing, though, is that last commoner, or there's the commoner number 5, riding the number 5. He fully succeeded, big time. Another 100. He's at 430. And then the last one failed by more than 5, so going slow as shit. Still at 380. We're at the top again. Kiwi, I need you to roll me, or who rolled me the first D8? Kiwi, D8. Actually, no, you know what? No, never mind. Voda, roll me a D8.
The cheering squad.
From
uptown? Downtown?
3.
From way outside.
Okay. Need you to roll me another D8. Okay. You watch as from somewhere within the crowd, a head of lettuce is thrown.
Snail slop lettuce.
It falls in front of snail number 6. That snail comes to...
If I saw it, I have a chance to catch it with Mage Hand.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
In an alternate universe.
In an alternate universe, it still does happen because that's a great idea. So, You watch as slow motion the snails are rounding and nearly getting to the finish line, and you watch as a head of lettuce gets thrown into the air. Voda looks over. What does your mage hand look like?
It's probably like, it's fucking Glover.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And it like gives like an angry look to the person in the stand and throws it back at him.
Yep. Midair, and there's cheers as you hear the announcers chime in with that.
Looks like somebody from the audience wanted to distract one of the snails, but not a chance when we have one of our own in the crowd. Voda!
The cheers go up again as the snails continue onwards. All right. Let's try the final, possibly the final round of animal handling checks as everybody is racing to that 480 finish line. Animal
Let's
handling
get it.
all around.
20.
Damn it. No. I started off so well.
Literally slow and steady, G-Stroy.
Yeah, all right. So you watch the, oh, interesting. So commoner number 1, we're gonna go down from the top. So commoner number 1, the fairgo number 1, riding the pink snail, fails. Goes slower. So, his only goes 70. But that's enough to finish. So, that one reaches the 480 mark. The next commoner fails terribly. Only goes 60. Not enough to finish yet. Delka. You do not succeed, but you do not fail. You do not succeed, but you do not fail by more than 5. You still go 70, putting you at 480. Next we have Kiwi, who does succeed by 5, pushing him to 100, puts him to 480. You then have... which one was the commoner that fell off? Oh, no, the commoner that fell off didn't even... that one's just moved... Wait! No, that snail goes the full 80 then! So that just means that snail also
The
crosses
snail
the
finishes?
finish line.
Without the rider?
Yes! That snail crosses the finish line without the rider. The other one fails but also crosses the finish line. Everybody's just fucking zooming here. The other commoner also crosses... succeeded by 5. Oh no, not by more than 5, just by 5. So goes 90. But that is and that's just that one is the one that's 1 less. That's 10 less. Zug, you succeed, go 100. You are definitely finishing. And Rosin did not succeed. It's just kind of cruising in the back, unfortunately. Still goes 70. So still is at 410. So we have a breakneck finish. Oh my goodness. Okay. This literally just comes down to this. I need Velka, Kiwi, and Zug. And 1, 2... Actually, how many commoners need to roll? 1, 2, 3. No, well, one of the snails is considered a commoner. I need you guys to roll a straight D20 for me, please.
Oh no. That's crazy. There's 6 all at the home stretch here. Oh, let's do it! Yes!
Oh!
Oh!
This is when the commoner rolls a 20.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Man.
This is
All
when
right.
the snail rolls.
Yeah, the snail with no rider.
All right, so here's commoner.
for the
Here's number 1.
commoners. Okay. Commoner number 1.
Oh,
Here's snail.
okay.
Oh, so close.
And here's number 3. Zug's snail.
Yeah!
By an eye stalk. You watch as there's like a flash of light as a magical kind of like explosion happens of just like blinding light, and you see in an illusionary screen at the finish line as like there's just dust everywhere as like the snails like zoom past the finish line, and you can see just kind of zoomed in the screaming face of Zug on the saddle of his snail, just like arms in the air, just like cheering as the snail's eye stalk is stretched out forward, crossing the finish line at the last moment, just ahead of the other snail.
The one with no rider.
Yeah. A snail with no rider.
Oh
There's a massive cheer as there's like that kind of like hushed moment, and just everybody's like, "What's happening?" And then suddenly there's just like a big fireworks explosion as you see like in the fireworks in the air, number 4, Roman numeral number 4, breakneck finishes, and all the snails come to kind of like a slow stall and just slow down around the arena, slowly kind of moving themselves around, catching their breath. The pixies come out, the pixie handlers come out, and move themselves around here. And you're finally able to, you're helped off of you're unsaddled, helped out of your seats, and find yourselves being cheered for in the stands. Zug, one of the announcers calls you up to the podium in the center.
Come on up, my good kobold friend.
All right, on my way. And then as I pass the front of the snail, I turn around, like, oh, you did a good job. You're really fast. And then I druid craft a flower and try to feed it to the snail real quick.
The snail immediately just goes.
Give him a little pat in the head. Good job. And I run up to the stage.
You go up to the stands, and the 2 goblins up there congratulate you.
Good job, Zug, my lad. You were a great jockey. And let's give a round of applause to all of the jockeys out there. That was one of the closest races we've seen all night, yet in all of the Witchlight Carnival's history. Great job all around. We love it. Here is your prize. Share it amongst your friends.
And they give you a potion.
Ooh, okay. Also, just as a note, when he says share it among your friends, if anyone's watching Zug's face, it lights up.
Oh,
Adorable.
And now, even those who tried their hardest but couldn't get around the ring, we don't forget about you. Rosin the Fairy, come on up here. Consolation prize for those that finish last.
Rosin's face is so just like jaw drop, like nice work, and she pats the snail, and she's like, we had so much fun, and she goes and like flutters up there.
Okay, so Zug, you receive, if this is something you want to share or not, you receive a potion of advantage.
Oh, so I imagine it gives advantage for a roll.
Yep. Wait, let me look. In drinking this potion, you gain advantage on one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw of your choice that you make within the next hour.
Okay.
There you go.
Nice.
You just got inspiration.
I will kind of, as I hop down from the stage over, I'm just kind of clutching my 2 hands, looking at it, wandering back over to everybody.
And as you walk up to the stands, the 2 goblins reach into their little bag at the side and take out what looks to be a wand.
Here you go, Rosin. You get a magical wand.
Hand it over to you.
Fucking Hitachi.
No. You take a wand, and it has a little label. It has a little label on the side of it, and it just said wand of dancing lights.
I was gonna say, it says made in China.
Yeah.
Wand of dancing lights. Is that a spell?
Yeah. So you'll be able
Cantrip.
to you'll be able to cast the dancing lights cantrip with this. But it does say on the side of it, one-time use only.
Got it. Okay. Does it like dissolve after that, or does it become just like a toy?
You don't know.
I'll find out at some point.
Well, can I ask that?
You ask the goblins, and one of them just leans over and goes,
Sweetie, I don't know. You just gotta try to figure it out.
I really hope it stays. Because I just want the...
You just want the wand. Your souvenir.
Alrighty. There's the fans are still cheering and bustling, and the cheering dies down a little bit. You all watch as if the mood could get any higher, the mood does. It goes up, up. And yeah, good job for those who rode the snails. You all did an excellent job. As the stands, as the fairgoers pour out of the stands, everybody kind of gives you all waves of encouragement. Some of you get pats on the back. Kiwi, you feel your shell probably patted one too many times by kids. And you look around, and it's everybody's super stoked that was such a close race. Very, very good.
As we gather back up as a group, I guess probably at the entrance or whatever, I'm still clutching with both hands because I'm small.
Yep.
I just kind of look up. This has been an odd question, but if I just look at everyone's face, who seems the least exuberant right now? And this might be... I'm not sure what the best way to approach this is. I'm looking for who looks either the most sad or the least excited. However you want to put that.
Assume that would probably be Velka, because Velka's a very just even keel at all times.
I guess, does anyone have a reason not to be exuberant right now?
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I think everybody's pretty...
Actually, that makes sense too. Think about it, because we were neck and neck on the race. I turned over to Velka.
And then Voda saved one of the snails from the cabbage attack.
Yeah. I'll look back over to Velka. Well, I already have some fun things. Would you like my potion, friend? I just kind of offer it up in two hands.
I look kind of confused for a moment, and like I'm mulling it over, and then I will take it, just like yes, thank you, friend.
Ah! Enjoy it! Now I can eat my cookie! And I'm going to take my giant, the fairy dragon cookie, which I haven't eaten yet, that's strapped underneath my turtle shell shield, which is now nice, probably warm and steamy. I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to start chomping on that as we continue on.
Okay. So, you leave with the crowd from the snail racing arena, heading back onto the main thoroughfare here. I see that took a little bit of time, but not the full hour. Is there anywhere else that you would like to head off to? Any more attractions that interest you? You can see on the map, you got the Bubble Top Teapot. You have the Mystery Mine. You have up to the north, you have the Dragonfly rides, and I think that's the main areas that you haven't been to yet.
I will go ahead and say that Zug is yes to everything, so it's whatever anyone wants to do.
I would advocate for either Bubble Pop Teapot or Mystery Mine.
I do believe one of those two along the way towards why can't I think of the name of the thing?
The old
not Big
Top. You're talking about the old phase
Spacer Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, Durla.
Oh,
Durla.
yeah.
I was trying to remember her name too.
I need to
talking about though, because we're going to them still at some point.
Oh yeah, good idea.
I guess they're on the way, so fine.
The mines or the teapot?
Well, you know what they say where I come from. You can't decide. Take a munch out of the cookie. Roll dice.
Yeah. Okay.
The D2?
Do you have a dice?
How do you roll a two-dimensional object?
Along its axis.
It has no axis in that direction. There's
It's
no
called-
symmetry.
It's called a coin.
Coin is a three-dimensional object which has three sides.
But a coin can only well.
I'm gonna
primarily
name a
lands on
2D coin.
One is teapot, two is mine. Teapot.
What?
Let's go get high from this pot.
All right.
Oh God, sorry, I was already pre-doing this one to see what a high as fuck kobold would come up on this. It's sort of frightening.
Ooh. Nice. No, that's just Zug is in fear and loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes.
It's Bat Country.
Just
All right.
for some reason he has 3 arms that branch, but let's not worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. No, those are just the worms coming out of him. All right.
Oh God.
So you circle around, walking through the throng of crowds. The sound of the calliope echoes through like invisible amplifying speakers around the area once again, and you get to the bubble top teapot. Not too long to get there. As you approach, you see a 20-foot tall teapot resting on a wooden platform, painted surface whirling and moving, with its surface painted with whirling and moving imagery of flying dragons breathing streams of bubbles. At the door at the base of the teapot allows entry into its interior. Those who enter seem to emerge from the spout enclosed in a bubble that detaches and float off across the carnival. You see 7 goblins sitting around the platform, sipping tea from mismatched porcelain cups. Assuming you're all arriving.
Hell yeah.
I assume so. I'll just be following everyone else.
Okay. Walk up to it and you see a goblin that both Voda and Velka recognize. One of the common faces around the carnival. His name is Treaclewise. And as you arrive and get up close, he taps the little table in front of him. The table reads, "The word that you intend to say, try saying it a different way."
Certainly staring at that with my head cocked.
Hello, 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 says the goblin as you approach, Mr. Treaclewise. Welcome to get over here and try the gnarly tree knot. It'll only be 1 bramble thicket to enter.
Hola.
Bonjour.
And I look to companions.
Pardon.
Does the group entirely concur to proceed?
You're not talking funny enough. If you want to get in a toil and trouble, give me something cool to listen to.
Jobber, mate. Hey, let's have a go then, eh?
Hello, Governor.
All
Zug's me
right.
uncle. Up to it then.
Zug's me uncle? all right,
Is that
all right.
true?
Step on up and give me your bramble thicket and I'll punch it up.
Nous aimerons faire le tour de la terre, mon aimé gobelin.
Squeeze me, what were you just saying there?
Speaking
Doesn't speak
another
giant.
language than funny. It's just language.
All right. Come on, step on up. Yours is all next in line. You're next in line. Come on. Nickel in time. Get up there and get in. Come on. You gotta ride that toil and trouble, mate.
I'll hop up
Yes.
and I'll hand over my ticket stub.
There you go. Thank you. 1 bramble thicket.
Bramble thicket here.
Ah, yeah, you're getting the gist of it. Give me the bramble thicket. And as he hands you back a ticket, he hands you back a little pouch of leaves. And gives you a wink. You're getting the gist of it.
I just kind of look at it and I'm trying to think of what to say next, and so my mouth just kind of moves, but it doesn't, like, nothing comes out. Like, jolly good date to you.
Oh, you gotta be glad that the bramble thickets are around here, because there's no need for any bees and honey at this carnival.
I'm just staring at him at this point.
Yeah, I kind of do that too. I just kind of stop and I'm staring. Like,
All right. Step on up.
Say
Go
bees
inside.
and honey.
What was that?
You say bees and honey? I was trying to figure out what you said.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
You don't need no bees and honey here if you got a bramble thicket.
I'll hand him the ticket. Good. It's a good thing since we don't make bees and honey, yes?
Ah, you got it as well. He hands back the ticket, and you see a little sachet of leaves there with the ticket as well.
I'm just gonna continue to talk in Sylvan.
I haven't said anything this whole time, so I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm just sort of observing.
All right. In you go.
Where?
Step through the din and out, and then you'll, you know, get in the toil and trouble, and up you go. Right there in the gnarly tree knot. Step through.
I'm up in the what? Yeah.
I would just take Zug by the arm and lead him into the...
I'll just happily follow along.
I'll just sit here in me lion's lair and wait for you to come back. Take care.
He sits down in his chair. Sips away on some tea. All right. Those who walk through the edge of the teapot, and suddenly you are enveloped in a bubble that floats up through the teapot spout and into the sky. You now have a wonderful aerial view of the carnival. You're floating around, just kind of seeing everything that you can see. All right. I would like anybody, if you would like to, give me an acrobatics check as you ride this bubble and kind of get this beautiful aerial view, unique perspective of the entire carnival. All right.
We fucking know what we're doing.
I have a quick question. Before I did this, I wanted to sniff the leaves.
Yeah.
You're
And
right.
maybe
Ah,
that's what kind of distracts you here, because you sniff the leaves. Oh, and it smells like the best tea you've ever gotten. You just have a nice little sachet of some sort of tea leaves.
No, thanks.
Okay.
I imagine Velka and Voda are just playing bumper bubbles.
So those who Velka, Voda, Zug, and Kiwi. You are all, as you're standing in your bubbles, you all realize that you can almost use them like hamster balls and start to move them where you want to. So, oh, this is actually great. And you all knew that you wanted to go to your next destination, right? Like you're kind of, you wanna make your way over to Durla's Lost and Found. So yeah, the four of you can absolutely control these things and move them like a little vehicle through the air. Meanwhile,
No, I know why. I know why. It's because Rawson has no sense of direction. She's not paying attention.
and none of us can grab her.
That's not
Oh,
why no one
we
can grab
can't-
her, so she's just like
We
wandering.
all have to go behind her to bump
Yeah.
her to the direction.
And I'm like, what are you doing? How does...
so
Can I
what
pull
you
my
see though is the five of you are floating along lovely, flying over high above the carnival, seeing everybody like ants below you, wandering the thoroughfares. You see kids chasing each other through, through the crowds. You can see the dragonflies taking off from the dragonfly rides. You can see the swans moving about in the ribbon of blue river that surrounds this thing. And as you rise into the air, you realize that the shape of the carnival is in an interesting shape if you haven't noticed before.
Figure 8.
It is. Yeah. It looks like a giant 8 from above. Like two equal thoroughfares, two equal sides. Very interesting. Like something that's just kind of unique about it from seen above. You can see there's like, little miniature fireworks going off in different areas. You can see that there's another snail race starting in the distance. And the group floats along, navigating their balls skillfully over towards the lost property wagon where you can see Durla there. And as you go along, well, you watch as Rosin's bubble just keeps going.
Oh,
And pops over the dragonfly rides. Whoop. He floats to the ground. The rest of you float to the ground. Yeah, you literally just like gently float to the ground as the bubble pops. And the 5, Kiwi, Voda, Velka, and Zug, all just kind of lightly go float to the ground in front of Durla. And Rosin, you float to the ground and get stuck in the branches of a tree. And as you get stuck there, you just kind of like looking around, you hear as one of the branches reaches up and a gnarly little wooden hand grabs a hold of you, pulls you out of the branches, lightly holding you, not like gripping you tightly, and sets you lightly on the ground. And you look up at the lovely tree ant who had been walking around during the welcoming ceremony. The tree ant just smiles down at you. Big brooming smile, and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. It seems that you fell into my hair. You gotta watch when you're using those bubbles. Sometimes they tend to get a little out of control." And we'll take a break here as we'll catch up with the groups in separate little locations right after this.
All right.
Okay.
5 minutes or so. Get your butts back here. Grab a drink, grab a snack. We'll be right back. Okay, be right back. Don't go anywhere. Right there.
You're the ghost in my nightmares. I see your face when I drink. You know I'd be down bad if he wasn't next to me. Long drives with the roof off, and those were the days. How you gonna break my heart and get away? So what if I can't be perfect for you? I'm drowning most nights, 'cause you're no longer mine. Drew hearts on my window, passing Jersey. It feels so weird not having you here. Who you gonna love when I'm gone? What you gonna do with the distance? Who you gonna call when I'm lonely? Who you gonna love when I'm gone? What you gonna do with the distance? Who you gonna call when I'm lonely? Who you gonna love when I'm gone? Friend's house and you gave me back your keys. I wonder if you miss me. Did it really have to end? It's really hard to let you go, 'cause I can't see you again. So what if I can't be perfect for you? I'm drowning most nights, 'cause you're no longer mine. True hearts on my window, passing Jersey. It feels so weird not having you here. Who you gonna love when I'm gone? What you gonna do with the distance? Who you gonna love when I'm lonely? Who you gonna love when I'm gone? What you gonna do with the distance? Who
I was thinking about this. I don't know.
Because we had 8 tickets.
Yeah, you can have
8 riders.
8 snails.
Mhm.
There are 8 like caravan things in the Pixie Kingdom. Hollow Illusions is a bunch of mirrors, and 8 is essentially a mirror of it's a symmetrical thing.
There's also, unless you include. No, never mind. Doesn't add up because there's more than that. There's 9 main attractions.
There are 8 hours though.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, there were only. Wait, no, there was 8 horses on the carousel, wasn't there?
Sounds correct.
Because it was in. That's what I was trying to remember. I was like, I think it was 8, because I think they were in pairs.
Yeah,
Because
and at the
we grabbed
feasting,
one of the pair.
and at the
you didn't.
feasting orchard, we ate custards.
8.
We ate.
Let me see if there's anything else.
But I think it's definitely a.
Oh, well, there's also a sort of slap you in the face thing. An hourglass looks
No.
like a figure 8.
That's also true.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's relevant, but
We've noticed a theme.
Oh yes.
Yes.
You have
Yeah.
you?
8 snails, you say?
8 snails. Dig into it further, I dare you. All right. Well,
See, this is why I didn't want to ask the DM. I wanted to discuss it with you guys, but it's the Hourglass Coven, so.
Which looks like an 8. Oh.
well, and also just to continue the theme, the time stamps are recorded in hourglass.
Sideways infinity. You're here forever.
Maintain that thought.
Hi, dog. You done barking at me? Kate took out Momo for her evening thing, and we had all the windows open, so it was gonna be funny and just like cat call her from inside the house. But as soon as I walked up to the window, Momo saw the silhouette and just started growling and like her
Oh,
hackles
no.
went out and barking at me. I was inside the house. I was like, "Hi," and she was still like, "No, I'm gonna kill him." So I was like, "All right."
He's
Then
dead
she-
to me now.
Yeah. Then she got closer. Was like, "Oh, it's you. Shit. Sorry, bud." But you understand.
Had to. All right.
It's still
this
76
thing,
degrees outside right now.
It's what a hue degrees?
It's still 76 outside right now, and there's no breeze. The breeze has gone away, so I can't get any airflow.
It's still not coming up here. It died and is not back. Just
Momo right now.
Never met. All right. So, as we all get back, we focus on Rosin Gray, our resident fairy, sitting at the feet of a treant sapling who is staring down at her after she rudely fell into her hair. Sapling looks down and smiles and says, "Oh, hi! I'm Northwind. It's nice to meet you. Where did you come from? You seem lost. I think you popped in a bubble? Hi, sorry, what's your name?"
Sorry. Hi. Yes, thank you so much for catching me. I seem to. I'm Rosin. I seem to have been separated from my group. I believe they went that. Well, they were up, and now I don't. Do you know where the lost and found is?
Oh, yeah. The Lost and Found's not too far from here. It's just,
The treant points over to the general direction of that way.
Just leave the Dragonfly rides and then walk back towards the big top that you can see in the distance. It'll be on your way. You gotta look out for the big Splacer Beast, Durla. They're wearing some really, really beautiful wings that look like dragonfly wings. They're super pretty. There's not a chance that you can miss them.
That's who I'm looking for. Perfect. I'll find more dragonflies, and I'm looking behind the tree and just do I see the dragonfly rides?
Oh yeah, they're there, and they're like, you just hear the buzz of wings in the distance, kind of ominously humming.
Humming.
And you see in the distance, as the dragonflies hum, you can see 8 lily pads where there are 8 dragonflies landing.
Noted. Okay.
If you want to ride one of the dragonflies, it's 1 ticket punch.
I would love to. I'm not sure I have the time right now. I'm trying to catch up with, as I said, we were floating, and I think I'm a little lost, and I just want to make sure to get back to them.
I got something that can help you. Hey, Red. Hey, Red, you around?
You see the little red-tailed squirrel crawl out from a hole in the side of Northwind.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm Red. What's your name?
Hi, Red. I'm Rosen.
Hi, Rosen.
Oh my god.
You can hear that.
Oh, it's getting picked up.
I'm fixing that.
That's some nightmare fuel.
I mean,
My
it's
God.
kind of amazing.
I can't.
If I ever want to know what the sound of going crazy sounds like, it's that.
Okay. Sorry, what? Hi, Red.
Hi. If you're looking to go somewhere, I can take you there. I don't need to work or anything. I'm just kind of along for the ride, as it were. I kind of just live with Northwind. Northwind, can I go?
Northwind's like,
Of course you can go. It isn't a problem. Just come back here when you're done. Oh, before you go, Miss Rosin, I can't help it, but you just seem so nice that do you want to get let in on a little secret? Not really supposed to talk about this, but did you know that Mr. Witch and Mr. Light aren't the carnival's original owners? They're not even from the Feywild. But it doesn't matter an inch. We're all just one big happy family here.
Yep, one big family. Big old family. Lots of love.
I had heard we actually met with them a little bit earlier. Are there any other juicy secrets about the carnival? I'm sure you see so much.
I'm not supposed to talk about it, but the carnival can't run without Mr. Witch's pocket watch, and I really, really hope that he never loses it. It'll be really bad.
But why would that be? I mean, you said the carnival can't run without it, but if he loses it, he could just get it back, right?
I don't know. He needs it so much. It's what he uses every time the carnival's got to go. He takes the watch out, and then the carnival just kind of goes.
Has he ever lost it before?
Nope.
So you don't necessarily know it'd be all that, right?
Oh, I don't know. I just hope he doesn't lose it. It could be bad, and I don't want that to happen.
That's fair.
You watch
I appreciate. Oh, sorry.
You watch as as Red the scroll is actually now kind of like giving you a wary eye.
Hey. Are you looking at my acorns?
new acorn. I, I mean, why are you offering?
No, they're my acorns. I mean, they grow on Northwind, but they're my acorns.
Understandable. I totally get it. I will not have. I actually have a fairy cookie, or I'm sorry, not a fairy cookie, a fairy dragon cookie. So I'll snack on that. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, don't touch my acorns. They're mine. And Northwind's, but mostly mine. You ready to go? You mind if I ride on you? I can't really run that quick.
How big is this squirrel? It's like tiny, right?
Yeah, it's the size of a squirrel. Small squirrel.
So it'd be like the squirrel riding on a child.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, we could even fly. You wanna fly a bit?
Wait, you can fly? Those aren't fake wings?
My fake wings are here, and she's pointing to the front. I'm still wearing front wings and back wings. My fake wings, the ones from the fair, are here. The ones from the back are my actual wings, and I flutter and I kind of like hover a bit.
Whoa! We don't usually see actual fairies here. We got some pixies, but we don't see fairies that much. Amazing! Okay, let's go!
All right. And I have Red help on my shoulder. I guess and be like, could you point? I remember she Northwind said it was towards.
Okay, I can see how this is going. You're really, really bad with directions, aren't you? You know what? Here.
He clambers up your back and goes underneath your hat and grabs your hair.
Two time.
Yep.
I'm very chewy.
Very chewy.
Oh,
chewy.
this will work. Ow! You don't have to pull so hard though. Okay, gentle. I can feel it. Thank you.
All right, so you get piloted. The rest of the group watches as, fluttering kind of like in a strange, meandering pattern, a little bit sporadic and erratic. The rest of the party who's standing there and it has floated down next to Durla's Lost and Found sees Rosin just slowly moving and just kind of like, and it approaches, and as she comes within like earshot of you, her hat slightly elevates and a little red-tailed squirrel jumps off, says something, waves, and scampers off back towards where she came from.
Hi, Red.
Don't get lost again. I can't help you if you don't. Yeah. Bye.
She's smiling, brushes herself off a bit, and looks to the group. Hello.
Ah! You made it back! I thought we were gone forever! At least that's what I was thinking.
I did too.
Just about to send a search party.
But it's good. All of us are together again. This is good. Good. We can go talk to Durla.
Yeah, Durla looks over from where they're sitting and kind of like lying next to the Lost and Found crate. Oh, you're back. Did somebody get lost? A good thing you're at the lost property in the Lost and Found. I hope you all are enjoying the carnival. It seems that it's in such a great mood tonight. Quite amazing. Seems like you're all having a good time. You can see their smiles on your faces match the smiles of the crowd around you. Wow. It's great.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently we're really good at carnivals.
Apparently you are. Anything I can do for you all?
Eyeball everyone else. Figure out who's gonna start this conversation.
Is there are we in a private kind of space, or are we just like standing in the front?
Oh, if you want to talk at here, climb inside the. You could Let's step inside the lost and found wagon.
That was a question.
Oh.
To
Yes,
use,
you're
but-
standing out. You are standing out front right now, just kind of like right outside the main.
Then we'll ask Durla, like, Durla, is there any chance that we could potentially step inside and have a semi-private conversation or a fully private conversation?
We can go inside the trailer. Not a problem. Here. They use one of their tentacles to just open the door. Step inside my office. Why don't you?
Okay.
I just zip on in. It's the same place that we looked for missing things earlier, right? We went inside the trailer.
Exactly. You dug through there and emerged like a badly dressed World of Warcraft character.
Yes. Gotta get that clown transmog.
Yeah. So, what could I do for you all? You seem... Durla kind of reads the room a little bit. Seem like you need to ask something. Preoccupied a bit. I can tell.
How observant of you. So we'll just get straight to the point. We've been talking to workers of the carnival around, all night, and we've come across some interesting information. We even had a conversation with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light, and we're thinking we need your help. Good night.
Moment of pause as Durla looks up and down. So, you have been seeing some of the interesting things here.
Yeah, we've heard a lot.
Oh, good.
Very much so.
Evie?
Oh, just say, yeah, we've seen a lot of weird stuff, and not just like from the stuff that I've seen when I was outside looking in,
Yep. There's big girls, talking horses, weird mirrors. Shit's happening. Oh, but also,
Frog.
yeah, probably relevant to say, Burley is the one who wanted us to kind of follow up on this, get to the bottom of things. He told us the story of what happened to him.
Durla nods. Their big feline head. So you heard about Hurley's disappearance.
Yep.
It seems that there's been a lot of things disappearing more frequently around the carnival as of late. I would think that my cub was also lost to the same thing. They looked down at the little glittery ball that made them so angry earlier. I swear that I saw Star following something or somebody away from my trailer a few weeks ago, but it was hard to tell. He was following a little girl.
In a pig mask?
There's a moment of pause. Yes, they were wearing a mask.
We've
Shallow
seen
looking.
Quite sickly
Almost.
looking.
green. Yeah.
Hmm.
Did how close did you get?
I didn't think any of it at the time. I just thought it was another child who was visiting the carnival, and Star wanted to play with them, but Star never came back that night.
Not to make your loss any more difficult, but we did observe something similar happening in real time. Yeah, there was a halfling in the Hall of Illusions. The girl was inside the mirrors. She seemed ensorcelled, walking towards it. We interrupted last minute, but seems to be... Well, he entered without paying his ticket. And it seems to be some correlation with lack of recompense. But I don't know how that works with your cub.
You'd actually know. He had He had
thought
a
he
ticket into the. It's not that he ran. He didn't punch his ticket.
That's what I meant. Like he didn't
Okay.
punch it. Not that he didn't pay for it. He
He
didn't
did
actually.
he did have a ticket.
No,
Yes.
it's also more so that what it also seemed was because we heard that Hurley was kind of expressing to Mr. Witch and Mr. Light that he was interested in expanding his horizons a bit. So it yes, as Zug was saying, some type of payment for pushing those limits a bit and not staying in that expected role.
Or anything that maybe challenges the mood of this place. That, I don't know, a spilled beer or an unpaid ticket or what happened? Why do you think, if this is the case, what was your cop doing? Interrupting something, perhaps?
Well, not sure. But you said that. I've always been suspicious of that dang Hall of Illusion. Always had a weird aura about it. Something has been off. What is your... I'm sorry. So what is the plan? What are you intending on doing? You said that... I've noticed that there's something going on with Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. They seem a little bit on edge lately, as I said. Said you talked to Burley about idea of doing something?
And Candlefoot as well. And I'll look back to who's been the most, probably Rosin. Whoever's been the most like kind of deal making in these encounters. I don't know how to put that because I'm trying not to be the one next to Cobalt making the plans. It's just not really my place.
Yeah. The chief investigator Rosin here. She's got it.
This is my ego character that makes me uncomfortable, but I'm doing it. Okay.
Explore it.
Because I have to step up. We're going to take his pocket watch. She kind of lowers her voice when she says pocket watch, like she says it very like under her breath. But yeah, she very simply just states that. And kind of gauges Durla's reaction.
Durla nods. Yes, that would... If you're thinking that there's something you need to get out of Witch and Light and they're not telling you, that timepiece is... It's the center of the carnival. It makes everything, pardon the pun, tick.
Talk about a good metaphor.
It's what Mr. Witch uses to set up, take down Carnival. It's basically is a carnival.
The music transition here is perfect.
Does it tell them where the carnival's gonna go next?
Oh, no, it doesn't tell them where they're going next, but we all kind of... I think Mr. Light decides that. But this is a good idea. When do you plan on doing such a daring heist?
At the crowning.
Well, that's...
Well, I guess after the crowning, when the parade's going.
That's fortuitous. Because it definitely seems like the hour is nigh upon us. We should head to the big top then. Is the plan then to... Ah, yes, I see. You are going to... After the crowning is done, Mr. Witch usually stays back at the big top itself, and while Mr. Light...
You and Candlefoot.
Correct.
Yep.
Oh.
And there's a good chance that one of us is going to be crowned. And by that, I look over to Velka and Kiwi. Or no, Voda and Kiwi. Sorry, I'm getting the names mixed up.
Excellent. Well, now is a better time than any. The crowning should begin any moment now.
So quickly, like while basically kind of like while we're wrapping up and getting ready to move over, I'm just very, very briefly going to explain like the plan with Candlefoot, and then hope that like
oh yes,
The Mime
they
Tornado.
understand the role of like, we're most likely one of us will be approaching from behind, and like if he starts getting like if he starts churning or something, just being present and aware and being able to like grab his attention without causing too much, not like grabbing his face and moving it in a different direction, but like being like,
Keep his
oh,
focus
so how was
elsewhere.
your evening this like the yeah.
Also going to remind, since we did discuss this, I have a cupcake of invisibility, which I think we'll probably give to Rosin, because you have the skills, right? With the
Thieves' tools, etc.
the thieves' tools and stuff to do that. And then also I have, as a plan B, is a wild shape dash. Do some ferrety bullshit. Or both at the same time. I don't know. But it seems like I'm going to give you the cupcake, and that'll be probably the main plan.
Does either Elka or Zug want to fly for a minute? You want to be a flying ferret?
With little fairy wings. God, that'd be hilarious. I think it's probably
Fairy
better
wings.
to save that, though.
Okay.
I would agree.
Okay. Just because I'm thinking like if you do silent type, I imagine like as a fairy I could probably fly. Like I basically quite literally light on my feet. To make as little sound as possible. And cause as little like.
Well, flying is probably useful as an escape tool or a wild card later down, because I don't think we'll need it at this point.
I mean,
The point's distraction.
No, but I mean, I already fly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just mean would either
For us,
you in this instance, but if not, I can save that piece of
save it, because if you already fly, you're already the one most likely to be invisible and doing the heist. Worst case, or plan B, if I'm going in as the ferret or equivalent, I'm just a little animal. A flying ferret's a lot more suspicious than a random ferret. To be fair, any ferret's gonna be suspicious, but the point is the flying doesn't help in that situation.
True.
And then we still need to make sure the distraction with the parade, assuming that we have a crowned monarch, which we also probably should figure out if it's someone else. Contingencies. And actually, at this point, I think Zug is very much like muttered himself deep in thought now. Like, but what if we do okay, we do it. No, okay. Oh, but okay. Like just kind of doing that the whole time to himself as you're like finishing up describing the plan.
So yeah, we just kind of go through that. Does anyone else have anything like they'd be kind of chiming in with Durla and contributing?
Yeah. Velka, Voda, anything that you would that you would have any questions or concerns about for?
I think I'm good.
Just am like going over with Kiwi, depending on who, if it is one of us, depending on who's up there, what the other will be doing.
Yeah,
It's a lot
that's good,
easier
yeah.
to get away when you're on the ground than when you have a bunch of attention on you.
And also, like, how you guys can make the biggest distraction, or just like, well,
I would assume I would know the
That
parade
bottle isn't
path,
happy.
correct?
Yeah, it just basically winds its way around the thoroughfare.
oh, so you can like figure out like the best place to, if you need to bounce, where to do that. But probably we would assume not to do such things because we need to stay within
But
the
if we,
fair.
like, if it comes around and like we're getting back to the top, if we're close to water, I can make a pretty decent distraction. Just why I was like, way.
Yeah, but well, I guess we haven't really discussed what we're gonna do once we have the watch. So we need to figure. That's actually one other thing is
We need to get away with it. Was my assumption. We need
Once,
to get it and get away.
yeah, once we figure it out, the parade continues. We make it out. One of us with the shiny doodad. We need to meet somewhere, and it seems
I look around here in Durla's office.
seems to be a decent place to do such things. Perhaps this is where we reconnect after Everything goes well?
Think that would Darla in the her position.
Yeah, won't you like lose your jobs?
I think that there is enough at stake here that I'm make Mr. Witch and Mr. Light a little bit cross in order for them to tell the whole truth. I don't know if we even need to. They care so much about this carnival, making sure that it is as happy as possible, everything is running smoothly, that, well, they'll do anything they'd rather, I'm trying to think of the words here. They would rather give in to your demands than make a scene and upset the carnival.
Wait, in that case, would it make more sense just to swipe the watch and at that very moment step back and hold it hostage? Do we need to do the song and dance? To be nice to have us all there. It would only be a handful of us if we do it this way. The other ones are in the parade. Hence why I figured it'd be worth them being here first. But it sounds like we don't need to wait too long to actually go negotiate. Yes?
I have a slight concern about that piece of it because the idea is to not disrupt the carnival at all. However, if we're alone and the only ones around to disrupt are us and 2 employees who polluted, there might be a different reaction.
Yes. And we also have really good leverage. We can prove that we're doing our best to keep the carnival going in a happy place because the parade will be ongoing. We would have made the carnival a happy place.
I would say we should not confront immediately. We would like to speak with them both. And it would be better to hold our hand until things have quieted down.
You just brought up a really good point.
Sir, it is the one that knows what's going on, not Mr. Witch, generally.
Wait, what?
Mr. Light is the one that sees what's going on for the most part. He would have more information. If you blackmail Mr. Witch immediately...
Mr. Light won't be there because he'll be with the parade.
But maybe
Exactly.
it also...
We could
separating them and having them in different rooms because they don't have each other to feed off of would be beneficial.
Or
That still requires later planning.
we get Mr. Witch to take us back to their trailer. We wait for the parade to finish and everyone to return.
But I mean, will the parade finish though? Because if without the watch, how will the carnival know the parade is done?
Oh, I look over to the Voda Velka. How does that actually work? I
would assume
Yeah,
just get a big shrug.
Yeah, Durla looks over and kind of replies, "That is a good point." Usually at the end of the parade is when everything starts to wind down and things start to close for the evening. Without his watch, Mr. Witch cannot do that. That would be the perfect time. You'd have to acquiesce.
So the leverage of the parade being unending is our trump card.
God.
So would the parade actually be an ending, or would it just end and the carnival continue? Like, would Mr. Witch, who's leading
Not
the parade,
sure. It's never happened before.
would Mr. Witch come back?
That gives me rising concerns from my theory earlier. If it is the disruption of the carnival that is causing issues, the carnival does not stop. It's kind of a big disruption,
Wait.
no?
Would that be a positive?
There is such an emphasis on the happiness of the carnival. Is it perhaps that it is the negativity that is what is being preyed on? They are so concerned about keeping everyone happy because if they are not, they are likely to fall victim to the pig mask girl.
Well, we already know that they are preying on this carnival in some way. Right?
Yes.
Our hands are forced, but their eyes are open. We let the Aragos go and take what it wants and turn and say some business. Actually, when I say that, I look over to Durla, if there's any reaction to that.
Guess not.
Suppose not.
Mostly be about it, I guess, if they know or have heard of that hourglass code.
There is a sound of like an announcement on the speakers.
Uh-oh.
Everybody, please make your way to the big top, where we will be crowning the Witchlight Monarch.
Oh.
Oh.
So did Durla not have any reaction to that?
There wasn't
Really time to.
Okay, so that's an open-ended question for now.
But we have to decide. Plan. Two plans. Meet here, hold him up immediately, and have him take us back to his trailer.
I think
I think the trailer plan's the best.
other plan is to take the pocket watch and head to the trailer ourselves.
There is no guarantee Mr. Witch would follow back there if he thought he lost it at the big top.
We know they would end up there eventually.
That's just killing more time we may not have.
There is a point that Durla made. He will be most anxious. That is the best time to negotiate or manipulate. Their anxieties are the highest. Their needs are unmet.
Just worries that
What we could also do, we'll have Candlefoot and Durla there. What we could do is just hide in the big top. It's a big top. So, there's plenty of space there. We can see what the reaction is to having discovered that the pocket watch is missing. See what happens from there, and then make a decision on the fly.
Watching the crowds, I'm assuming there's crowds heading to the big top.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I feel
right
like
now.
I
we
would probably
have to
say
just go.
Yeah, we kind of just have to.
Chaos is best. Let's do it.
I think just seeing his reaction and going from there.
So, just to be clear, though,
I hand over the cupcake of invisibility to you, Rosin.
Thank you.
Plan A, you snag it while Durla and Candlefoot distract. Plan B,
Actually, how long does a wild shape last? Actually, in that,
An hour.
Is it an hour?
Yep. At this point,
Okay.
Durla looks at you and goes,
Isn't it a number of hours based on your
Druid level or something, but it's at least an hour.
half your druid level rounded up.
Gotcha.
Oh, 3 hours then. Okay, or 2 hours for me.
Durla looks to the party and goes, I'm sorry, I realize I can't be talking with you much longer. I actually need to, I need to escort Mr. Witch to the wagon. I need to go.
yes, we all know what we need to do. The plan may be a little more open-ended, but use your best judgment. We'll get this.
And then
Right.
I'm going to jump in the air and turn into a ferret
Nice.
because I have 2 hours of ferret time, at which the ferret still has a skull on. And I'm going to, which is still painted like a red dragon. And I'll jump onto, who's closest? Kiwi's shoulder.
Excellent.
Oh.
So, you all make your way to the big top, moving with the crowds that enter inside, and everybody files in and finds a seat. The lights go down the big top as you watch Mr. Witch, Durlagon, enter in and standing on the sidelines next to Candlefoot. As Mr. Light steps forward and says,
Thank you all so much for attending the Witchlight Carnival this evening. It has been an amazing evening, and the mood is so wonderful. You've all done so much good, ridden the rides, made everything so nice and so happy. But a select few of you have done a lot more to make the mood tonight so much better. Well, this is when we crown our Witchlight Monarch. Please, Mr. Candlefoot. And Candlefoot hands him this box. Mr. Witch removes what looks to be a crown of golden butterflies. The hat box. And as he does so, he kind of does this like sleight of hand thing, and suddenly the crown turns into 2 crowns. Would Kiwi and Voda please come down here for the first time in a long time? 2 Witchlight Monarchs are crowned tonight. And
Kiwi.
he asked you to come on down.
Kiwi would put his hand out to Voda. Shall we go together?
Before taking it, she leans over and hugs Velka and says, "Anything's that stupid." Before taking his hand.
Okay.
You look on the back of his shell, you see a little ferret going, clapping.
Just clapping excitedly.
Yeah. But then also, as you walk down, I will try to be like a fur scarf around you.
Oh,
Are
like
you
a
coming with
collar.
us?
Like a
For
collar.
now, because then that'll get me down there. So I'll stay on his back for now.
All right. So, a thread of golden light surrounds the two of you, Kiwi and Voda, as you walk your way down through the stands. And as you arrive, Mr. Witch looks to you both with a smile on his face, and you can see, or sorry, Mr. Light looks to you all both with a smile on his face. And you can see Mr. Witch also smiling off on the wings. Mr. Light says,
Voda, Kiwi, please kneel.
as you kneel on the ground, he takes the Witchlight vein out and he says,
I, Mr. Light, knight you, Kiwi, and you, Miss Voda, Windove, both co-Witchlight Monarchs.
and then there's just like a as golden glitter showers down from above, and you look up and you can see there's a bunch of like goblins dressed as clowns just like throwing glitter out from like the top of the big top. Immediately there's a magical fanfare of music and sound as Mr. Light begins the parade.
So how does that begin with the...
Mr. Light leads the 2 monarchs on a parade around the carnival, with the guests filing out of the big top at this point. Burley the Bugbear, you see him give you all kind of like a nod, like, as he walks to the outside of the tent and starts setting off fireworks. Here overhead, those who are still in the tent, there's still kind of like music playing in the tent in the big top, but you just have that like ambient lighting of the fireworks bursting outside above the tent. It's kind of giving this strange like light, dappled light from within.
How long is the cupcake last?
It's invisibility. So 10 minutes?
10 minutes or 1 hour. Also, just to be clear, as Kiwi's heading out as part of the Monarch crew, I would have shuffled off onto the ground and hidden somewhere in the big top. Hopefully near the center stage.
Kiwi is so happy and kind of forgets the plan for a minute.
Okay. And yes, actually, let me see, the Feasting Orchard, the prize is
Looks like
this,
1 hour.
and it's a potion of invisibility, so it does the equivalent. 1 hour.
Okay,
That is
then
so good.
in the hubbub of all of the celebration and everything, I probably would have just kind of gone into the crowd and kind of crouched a little bit and taken the cupcake.
Right.
Eaten the cupcake, not
Rosin
taken the cupcake.
just takes it. Rosin ducks down, takes a bite of the cupcake, and immediately disappears. As the crowd files out, you can see Mr. Witch standing there, just kind of with a smile on his face. Takes out that watch, takes a look at it, puts it back in his like coat pocket. You look and
Which
you can
pocket?
see. Yeah, you see exactly which pocket it was put into. I don't know specifically. Left breast pocket of his.
The witch pocket.
Which pocket? You look and you can see, in the moment where the rest of the crowd is filing out, Candlefoot looks in your direction and gives you a thumbs up, a nod, and he quietly begins to talk to Mr. Witch. Mr. Witch, I got a new act I really wanted to show you. I think now would be a good time when nobody's watching that I can show you what it is. It's called the Mime Tornado. I hope you're ready for it. And Durla is like, yes, this is going to be amazing. I've heard, I've seen him practicing, Mr. Witch. You're just going to love it. It might be the next big thing to do at the Big Top Extravaganza. Candlefoot starts spinning maniacally.
I'm gonna be making my way like behind. Like I've by this point made my way behind and fluttering, and I'm gonna slowly approach Mr. Witch. And I mean, you mentioned thieves' tools in terms of
you have those?
but I do.
All right.
So like, that we used to like
So that
snip a chain link or something.
Yeah.
Gold
Or
stuff.
like a little like
Absolutely.
hole in
And
the
I'm
hose
just-
or something, like trying to approach, like kind of watching his body mannerisms as he's watching Candlefoot and kind of seeing, trying my best to.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt. I
ahead,
will
Zach.
say, I'm essentially going to be holding an action, if this was a combat equivalent, to watch for any sense of struggle with where he put it, the pocket, like any, like he grabs for it or anything like that. And then if he does, or if there seems to be any sort of untoward conflict there, I would dash in and from my underneath the bleachers where I'm at to cause a ruckus. But otherwise, I'm just observing.
My plan is to use, and I would have let you guys know this, like if I'm gonna be invisible, I'm going to use Druidcraft basically right before I go to grab it. So in some type of like puff, like creating the
Ooh, but that would break your
imagery or
invisibility.
no, it's still
a spell.
instantaneous cantrip.
Yes, but any action. So invisibility is any spell cast will break it.
Any spellcast or attack action. So,
Okay,
but I
well-
think it's fine. We have enough
Yeah,
distractions.
for the interest of time here, you've done such a good job. You have people helping you out. You are going to have advantage on this roll in order to do this. Also, if Zug the ferret is looking to help, I will grant an additional basically like a bless bonus to this roll as well. So Zug, I don't know so basically you in your weasel form would be helping.
Essentially that. And then if there's any specific action I need to take, it'll happen. But for now,
all right,
all focused.
So Rosin,
I can also would I be able to because I'm looking like I have cunning action and I have sneak attack.
none of that matters here. All
I think it's
matters
just- it sounds like it's gonna be
a
a
sleight of
single
hand check
interaction.
using your. It's going to be a sleight of hand check.
And then the fallout will commence as it does.
Would
So
it
actually,
be
question:
an
are you
advantage?
proficient? You're proficient in thieves' tools, right?
Yes.
Okay, so click the thieves' tools and then use your dexterity. This is going to be at advantage. Sneak invisible up to Mr. Witch, who's currently distracted by a Candlefoot spinning erratically in circles, running around like crazy, while Durla kind of erratically encourages and claps.
Whoa.
I wish to see the Mime Tornado. Oh, 16.
All right.
Okay.
Give me an additional D4.
Let's get it.
Okay.
Just to seal it, Kiwi would, knowing this is about to happen, kind of tip his hat
As you leave
over in that direction and
Give bardic
tip
inspiration.
the crown, and bardically inspire.
Okay.
Oh, I love this. I said an Ocean's 11 like hat tip as you
Yeah.
exit the casino.
D4 this level?
6, I think.
Six
D6
from the start. Yeah. So another D6.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, another 3.
22
No.
total.
Yeah. 22 total.
Pretty good.
So not even Mr. Witch notices it, as you can see his coat slightly move, and then a little bit of like a ting, as Rosen now holds the watch in her hand. There's a brief moment where those who are on the on now like walking around on the in the parade, Kiwi and Voda, you see just the briefest kind of like crack in the smile of Mr. Light. Brief moment. And within the tent, immediately, Mr. Witch reaches for his breast pocket.
As soon as there'd been anything like in my hand, as soon as that break had made, I like dash out. Like I very quickly move away.
Okay.
Like as far as I can to like a dark corner of the big top somewhere. I know I'm still invisible, but
Mr. Witch looks down, pats himself, and looks up. Narrows his eyes at Candlefoot and at Durla, and looks around the room. I know that you have it. I'm not cross, but I will need that back. So let's discuss.
He knows. Oh, at this point,
It's perfect, yeah.
oh, I'm trying to think, where would I have been this whole time? I imagine that I probably just kind of stayed where I was in my seat in the big top, and
That's also
just
suspicious
kind of like
of all.
Yeah.
tucked down behind the wall though, so that I could like peek over, but I wasn't just visible. Oh wait, I have fucking bunny ears. Shit.
They just poking out and up. There's a sigh from Mr. Witch.
Yeah. In that case, I will. When he says that, I will hop out from my hiding spot.
Oh, and yeah, if I see you do that, you see this occur. It
Boing,
just
boing, 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 boing,
Yeah,
boing,
that's
boing,
me.
boing.
I jump into the middle.
And at this
I was
point,
imagining Belka like holding his bunny ears down like across his face.
Like sitting on him, yeah.
the at this point, you hear like another firework or two go off, and then you see a silhouette in the entranceway of the big top. You see Burley there. He just looks around, and he sees the expression on Mr. Witch's face. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Witch, but I had to do it. They got to they need to figure out what's going on. And you're not talking, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, but this is the only way. And Mr. Witch looks around. Deep sigh.
The sigh of
No.
someone who knows this was going to happen eventually.
No, this is right and true. It's a matter of time. Matter of time. Whoever has my timepiece, please wait here. We'll wait until the parade is done and you'll be in the clear. We'll talk this out like adults. Figure out what you need and what you want.
All we want is what is best for the carnival.
sits down in just kind of slumps down and just puts his head in his hand for a brief moment. Not like in desperation or anything like that, or anger. Just kind of, you can kind of see him, his like stoic form just kind of deflate for a moment. Outside, the parade still continues, still goes along, and the guests follow in a long parade that snakes around the figure 8 and ends near the entrance of the ticket booth, where Mr. Light cheerily bids adieu to the guests as they file out of the carnival. As that happens, you watch as the crown of butterflies that are on Voda's head and on Kiwi's head magically alight and flutter off back towards the big top. As the last guest kind of moves out, Mr. Light looks down to both of you, or looks to both of you and says,
Something is off. I must return to the big top. I would like you two to come with me, please.
Okay. As your king, I accept.
You follow the dancing butterflies back into the big top, and those who are inside watch as the butterflies return to the box that was sitting next to Mr. Light, or Mr. Witch, and they flutter inside the box, and Mr. Witch just absentmindedly takes his hand and closes the box next to him as the light fades from within it. You all look up as you see Mr. Light enter the tent, followed by Kiwi and Voda at his side. Mr. Witch looks to Mr. Light with kind of a look of, like a sad look on his face. It is time, my friend. You must tell them the truth. They have my watch. I need it back. We need it back. We can only keep up this ruse for so long. I think they're the ones that can maybe fix things. Mr. Light looks around as well.
My good friend, I do believe you are correct. I'm sorry, my guests, Velka, Voda. We have been lying to you for some time. When we acquired this carnival from that bet, we made a pact with a fey entity, Zyblina. You may have heard the name. People talk about her. You talk to us about her. She was the patron of the plane, the Feywild demi-plane of Pismir. Pismir is a beautiful place. But recently something has happened. Something bad. It seems that the Hourglass Coven has taken control of Prismir, and with that, gained leverage over our carnival and the pact that we made. They know that we're not the original carnival's owners.
They have threatened to take the carnival. They would orchestrate a reunion between the Witchlight and our old carnival in the Shadowfell. We don't want to lose the Witchlight Carnival. We love this place so much and the home that we've made for so many here. So we agreed that the Coven can steal from anyone who sneaks into the carnival without a ticket. And, well, some slip through and the hags take things. But they also prey on emotions and problems of those who come here. I'm afraid we've already lost many to them. But you are the ones who can fix this. I can sense this. You've been brought here for a reason. Please, all of you follow me. He gets up. He looks over to Candlefoot. Candlefoot, I do not fault you for what you did here. Please take the crown back to our trailer. Mr. Light and Mr. Witch walk out of a side entrance, lift a flap of the tent, walk out of a side entrance, start walking toward the Hall of Illusions.
Oh.
Following for sure.
As you make your way out, it's a little bit eerie. And you actually do notice that there's something strange about the carnival. Like, you look up and you can see that the bubble pop teapot, there's bubbles just kind of suspended in the air, just kind of like floating there lazily, not going anywhere. The sequences of lights that were flashing and going through patterns are all stalled, not moving. The smells kind of seem stale. And all of the just kind of movement of the attractions and the hustle and bustle just kind of seems in this weird, eerie, paused state. You can see some of the Witchlight hands and stuff kind of looking around expectantly, like they can tell something's wrong as well. You quickly walk through Mr. Witch, Mr. Light kind of absentmindedly dismissing them and just kind of just say, "Don't worry, we'll be back in a second. Everything will be in order." You make your way to the Hall of Illusion. Stepping in, Mr. Witch.
On our way there.
Yeah.
Could I just allude to the significance of the 8? Like, just ask them, like, if that would be something significant or helpful to yeah, to know about.
They just kind of mentioned that this Mr. Witch says, "So you've noticed. The carnival took this shape once our patron was usurped."
Oh, so it is connected. So I'm a ferret.
Step this way. As Mr. Witch, and Mr. Light move through the Hall of Illusions, their reflections in the mirror show them as gloomy little Shader-Kai children, with your own youthful reflections following closely behind them. Soon, they call you to a halt. The mirrors now surrounding you reflect everybody's true age. Mr. Witch addresses you in a hushed tone, looking. He says, "Everything you seek and more lies beyond this mirror. If you mean to step through, then stand in front of the glass and repeat this rhyme. Hither, thither, here and there. Wander yonder, show me where." I'll paste.
I was saying, can you copy that?
Is this the same mirror that we saw the big girl in?
It is.
Fucking. It's all
Mr. Light smiles at you all.
If once you go through this mirror, you'll be entering Prismere, where our patron resides, Miss Zyblina. Well, and anybody who sneaks into this carnival without a ticket and whatever is stolen from this carnival always finds its way to Prismere. But I warn you, this mirror is a one-way portal. Once you arrive, you gotta find your own way back. But doing so could save this carnival and help so many.
Velka looks to Voda.
There is something that is still bothering me. You said that you made the deal to switch carnivals, yes? Both what? You cut off?
They both nod.
Then why is the Coven trying to quote-unquote return this? Is they acting as a force, or are they doing it themselves?
They kind of look at each other and say, "We don't know. All we know is that when the two carnivals meet again, we are required by our deal to take back our former possession. If they can orchestrate that meeting, then our hand would be forced."
Essentially, they'd be losing the home and the spirit and blah 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 that they've created, and they don't want to lose that. And I'm assuming that, like, as employees, like, the employees are also very happy, and so they don't want to lose that space. So I'm assuming that's where the draw is. Because at this point, I'm just like, well, you took it. That's part of the deal. Like, just
They've
deal with it.
but
that's
the-
not me
they've
as a
shaped this
character.
carnival. They've shaped this carnival into something more than it was when they acquired it, and it's been a family of theirs now. Like people have become families here. So it's one of those things where if
Yeah,
they lose this
that's what I'm
carnival,
assuming.
have to take back the other one. Basically, just everything swaps.
And also, just to be
Separate
clear, the
everyone.
Hourglass Coven here is an outside party to that.
As far as we're aware, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not there's nothing that suggests that this is a debt come due. This is something outside of that that's trying to force it in a way that is unbeholden to
The deal was if they ever cross paths again, like if they ever, not like when and in 10 years they cross paths again. It was like, no, if you happen to cross paths again, then you have to take them back, and then you can discuss which carnival is better. But they've just always been on the move, so they just have never happened to cross paths again.
Well, there's plenty of speculation we could have here, but it does seem like it's not. This is not specifically related to that deal, but the outside force pushing it in that direction.
I have a
For unknown
feeling
reasons.
that there is going to be more going on, and I look around the group. If we decided to step through this mirror, I don't think saving the carnival is going to be our final goal. Some of this just does not add up.
Actually, at that point, because
Did
remember,
we-
go ahead. Sorry.
So, did we ever learn who the original owner was, or anything about them, other than just they made a deal?
They know that they
We
they
have a
are
name
in
for it.
Eladrin.
Named Yale is where is it?
Isolde.
Isolde.
This is
Yeah.
old. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have that.
She carries a big sword.
And has
That
one
part I did
hand.
have.
So then we looks to Voda. I believe that means that our leave of absence will be extended.
Mr. Light, Mr. Witch nod. Please. We could have the watch back. We'd appreciate it. Recite the rhyme in the portal at any time.
I would
I turn
ask
uninvisible.
Okay.
Oh, I'm kidding. I've been
Also,
uninvisible.
this whole time, there's just been a ferret running in circles. It's just been absolutely just a pure chaos ferret.
Okay,
You'll
so
have one request.
yes.
If we succeed and we return, I would wish that Voda has a chance to be an act.
I immediately punches him in the arm.
Mr. Light smiles and says,
Absolutely. For that performance tonight, I would not hesitate to grant you an addition.
Mr. Witch holds his hand out to Rosin. The watch, please.
Rawson looks around. We're doing this for you.
That is understandable. I'm not mad for what you took, but I need that watch to make
carnival room. Please. Give it back.
I look around, just like, is everyone good? Everyone got their information? Everyone. That's the only questions I got.
You got a thumbs up from a ferret.
Okay. See,
Voda gives a nod, hiding behind her ears.
thank you. Thank you for your help in getting here. And if there's any other information that you might have, please find some way to get it to us.
Right. Remember the rhyme. They retreat back and step back away from the mirror.
Good luck with the rest of the carnival tonight.
Okay.
And always.
Yeah, you hear things kind of start to move outside of the Hall of Illusion. Takes back the watch. All right.
I turn around and say it.
All right, you turn around and say it. The mist starts to swirl in the mirror, blotting out your reflections as a portal appears.
This is my way home, so I'm going regardless.
You reach out and touch the mirror. Everybody watches as Rosin is pulled through.
But like as she starts to reach out, I go, "Don't take too many steps. Don't get lost."
Okay. Rosin
As
goes
long
through.
as you all follow.
Is it a portal that's just open for all of us, or do we all have to recite it?
Now open.
The ferret just charging through. Woo-hoo!
Okay.
Poor ferret having to wait until.
Yeah, I can't say anything.
Who we got? Who's next?
It would take Voda's hand before going through.
I would sadly look back towards where the carnival is before stepping through.
Okay. Kiwi, last one through.
Takes a bow and walks through.
Mr. Witch says to you, find the rule of 3. Future, present, past. Mr. Light says to you, find the alicorn and free the dormant queen at last.
Alicorn?
Alicorn! Goodbye!
And as you step through with that question on your face, you are all pulled through. All of you now stand at the edge of a raised and broken causeway under a hazy twilight sky. The causeway, which seems to be built from pale stones that glow faintly from within, towers over the surrounding landscape, but large sections of it have crumbled away. The parts that remain in place are separated by large gaps where portions have collapsed. Below you, a fog-shrouded swamp spreads out below you in all directions. Up from its murk wafts the smell of rotting plants. Also rising from the swamp is the music of nature, a discordant melody of croaking frogs and stare out over Feywild. Welcome to Prismere.
Oh, baby.
And you all level up. 4.
Hell yeah.
Oh, boy, okay.
And not a single combat.
Oh, what are you talking about? We fucking had the showdown of the cupcakes. Or the... Wait, it wasn't cupcakes.
That's what you
Wasn't a showdown that was
An
a...
initiative that was not a combat.
Oh, it was
It's a
combat.
showdown that was a throw up, sir.
It was indeed. Thank you for going a little bit over. I wanted to get you guys to Prismere tonight. You did
Oh, this
indeed
is really
do that.
exciting.
So you leave the carnival and arrive in Prismere. Literally, like, my imagining of what this looks like is, for those who have played Elden Ring, looking out over the swamp of, like, the Lakeland area.
Specifically from, like, the raised causeway.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm still a fucking ferret. This is great.
Exactly. Okay, well.
And before going through that portal meant that you're just permanently a ferret now.
Yeah, the Feywild is just like, aha, ferret. All right, perfect. That's what
I
you
can
get
work
stuck
with,
as.
I can work with that.
Okay, well, yeah, level up when you can, and we'll pick this back up next.
Ooh,
Heads up for next week. I'm coming back from Chicago on Tuesday, so I might be They should be around, but I might be tired, or flight might get delayed because that happens a lot now.
Travel now. All right, well, good shit,
Yeah.
everybody. I'll end the stream. Jump on, chat a little bit afterwards. Thank you for staying up a little bit later. Appreciate it. Back. All right. Whoa! That's some good rolls. Okay. Back with fun times in Prismere. Players move. Hither. Good night, everybody.